Neither populist nor prudent, but surely a bit of both. The BJP has called it clever bazigiri, as the finance minister has indeed walked the tightrope. Chidambaram kept the tax structure largely unchanged, only announcing a tax credit of 2,000 rupees for every person who has an annual income of up to 5 lakh rupees. But the finance minister also announced a 10% surcharge on persons with taxable income of over 1 crore rupees.
The super rich being taxed, P. Chidambaram levying a 10% surcharge on incomes above 1 crore for 1 year. This will impact just about 42,800 people who have earnings above rupees 1 crore a year, at least officially. A 10% surcharge has also been levied on corporate tax for incomes above 10 crores. There is no change in tax rates and slabs. There's no change in excise and customs duties. Cigarettes, SUVs, mobile phones, set-top box will get costlier. There's an increased allocation for social sector spending, and 1,000 crore rupees has been set aside for a women's safety fund named after the Delhi gang rape victim, and a defense budget has been increased marginally. CNN IBN's Axe the Tax impact has seen additional exemption for the first time on home loan customers. A divestment target of 40,000 crores has been set for next year. The Prime Minister admits the need to return to 8% growth, and as we said, a thumbs down from the markets. Quick first, let's recap what the Finance Minister said in the budget.
When I need to raise resources, who can I go to except those who are relatively well placed in society? There are 42,800 persons in the whole country who admitted to a taxable income exceeding rupees 1 crore per year. I propose to impose a surcharge of 10% on persons whose taxable income exceeds rupees 1 crore per year. I believe there is a little bit of the spirit of Mr. Azim Premji in every affluent taxpayer. I am confident that when I ask the relatively prosperous to bear a small burden for 1 year, just 1 year, they will do so cheerfully. The rates of personal income tax, 10, 20 and 30, have survived 4 finance ministers and 4 governments. The current slabs were introduced only last year. Hence, I'm afraid there is no case to revise either the slabs or the rates. Mobile phones enjoy a concessional excise duty of 1%, and I do not propose to change that in the case of low-price mobile phones, that is below rupees 2,000. However, on mobile phones priced at more than rupees 2,000, I propose to raise the duty to 6%. A person taking a loan for his first home from a bank or a housing finance corporation up to rupees 25 lakhs during the period 1/4/2013 to 31/3/2014 will be entitled to an additional deduction of interest of up to rupees 1 lakh.
But the finance minister has taken important steps to reverse the pessimistic mood with regard to investment climate, with regard to the growth potential and possibilities of our economy. Well, the finance minister has laid out the roadmap. The finance minister has done a commendable job. India needs to create jobs for our growing labor force to the extent of about 10 million persons every year.
आमतौर पर चिदम्बरम जी का बजट, उसकी सच्चाई अगले दिन समझ में आती है, क्योंकि पहले दिन वो इतनी पॉलिश करके बजट पेश करते हैं कि उसकी कलई को उतरने में 24 घंटे लगते हैं। लेकिन इस बार तो वो पॉलिश भी ढंग से नहीं कर पाए, इसलिए बजट पे कोई कलई चढ़ी ही नहीं। एक अनइमेजिनेटिव, कल्पनाशीलता से विहीन, डल और उबाऊ बजट है।
मैं तो इस बजट का विरोध कर रहा हूँ और करूंगा, और सदन के अंदर हमारी पार्टी करेगी, समाजवादी पार्टी करेगी विरोध। ये स्कीमें इस तरह कर दी भूल भुलैया के लिए।
Those who know their own path continue to walk on that path. Those who are uncertain about their destination continue to look for new directions. But we know where we are going. We know our path, we know where the destination is, and he is confidently moving forward, not distracted by what is happening in the world in terms of the impact on the economies globally, and he's confidently taking us forward, and we will get to our destination.
ये बजट अगर एक शब्द में कहा जाए तो बाजीगरी का बजट. In the presence of the Prime Minister, what Mr. Chidambaram has done is that he has roundly criticized his predecessor, who not only belongs to his or belonged to his own party, but is today occupying Rashtrapati Bhavan. I think Pranab Babu deserves better than being criticized by his own successor finance minister.
Of course I am happy with the budget. I don't think that any finance minister could have done better.
And so for the common people?
For the common people, in fact, there is no increase in the tax rate. So I think he's taken care of the poor, the ordinary, and he's also taken care of providing incentives for growth.
ओबीसी के लिए उन्होंने कुछ कहा, माइनॉरिटीज के लिए कुछ कहा, तो जो भी कुछ घोषणाएं की हैं वो केवल हमें हवाई नजर आती हैं. इसमें इस बार के बजट में कुछ नयापन हमें नजर नहीं आता, और खास तौर से इस देश में जो गरीब लोग हैं, बेरोजगार लोग हैं, तो उनके लिए कोई विशेष पहल हमें इस बजट में नजर नहीं आती है.
In the past 9 years, the UPA government first put the economy in distress, and then a helpless finance minister comes out with a budget in which he had very little elbow space. He makes cosmetic changes in different heads of taxation. The budget is verbose, but on substance it's extremely low.
The budget is prudent, the budget is productive, and the budget is progressive. We must understand that in a very difficult economic situation, an international situation which has been economically choppy for the last number of years, the finance minister has done a commendable job.
Not very happy. I would just like to take a poll first on whether what they made of this budget of Chidambaram. Tell me, out of 10, how much would you give Chidambaram's budget?
About 6 or 6.5.
And why is that?
So basically, I think the budget is low on execution. It's more on announcements. So if you look at the infrastructure side, he's going to construct 3,000 kilometers of roads, but there are on the ground issues in terms of land acquisitions. On the power side, there are issues about coal. So those are the negatives. On the positive side, he's given some tax exemption. He's extended the ATI exemption for power plants. So I think limited action on the ground, and that's why I would kind of rate it about 6.5.
Okay, what would be your rating and why?
I would rate it at about 4. And see, from what I was expecting from budget was some measures to stimulate growth and improve the investment environment of the country. The second bit was I was hoping for certain changes in the tax exemption limits, and there have been nothing substantial in that front also.
We've got plenty of them right here at SRCC as well. Off the cuff, what do you think of Mr. Chidambaram's budget? Because he said there are 3 constituencies that he's aiming at: women, the youth and the poor, and we've got 2 of those 3 over here.
I think it's fairly justified, because especially because he's stuck to the progressive taxation and tax the rich. He also mentioned that there are only about 41,600 people who earn more than 1 crore and pay the taxes. So I think it's a very fair budget, considering that people do not report their taxes correctly in our country. So I think this is a good way to encourage progressive taxation. I think it's a very good move.
Also, the young women were specifically targeted. A lot of schemes were announced for them. What did you make of the Nirbhay Fund and the fact that a special bank, an all-women's bank, has been proposed?
I would agree with him. I like the fact that there has been money allocated, especially for the safety of women, because it's high time that we start treating it as an issue. And this is for the first time that he has allocated money, especially for this issue. And now I hope that we're going to have safer streets, because to put our plans in action, we need money, and that has happened.